Justin from Air Macau.
Morning, everyone.
How's everybody doing? Good to see you. I'm First Officer Justin. Nice to meet you guys. How we doing? Good to see you. Hello. This is my good buddy.
Hi, good morning.
First Officer Thomas right here.
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Good.
Good morning.
And thank you so much for this great invitation. We're first officers.
Yeah, that's easier, huh?
For Air Macau, which is the only airline based in Macau.
In
correct?
Macau, yeah, only
Yes.
regular.
So the pride of Macau, you know. So we're here to recruit you guys. We want you to start flying tomorrow. Can anybody start tomorrow? Anybody? Okay. Ladies, so yeah. But anyway, we're here for just a little bit, just to kind of talk to you guys about aviation. We appreciate the invite. I think Trevor. Does anybody know Trevor, Mr. Trevor? Okay, yeah, he's the one who kind of recruited us to come out and talk to you guys a little bit. And Miss Johnson has kind of taken over because I think Trevor might be a little busy with something, if you know. But yeah, anyway, so happy to be here. And we have some pictures, and at the end we have some little gifts for you guys. So you know, just. They want the gifts first, yeah. So anyway, I guess we'll just start out with who knows what an airplane is. Let's see. We'll start with the ladies first. Yes, ma'am.
An airplane is
Very good. Good start. Good start.
can fly.
Wow.
Outstanding. Applause for her. We'll take another definition. Maybe we'll start with this young man right here. Yes, sir. Yes.
An airplane is something that flies and carries passengers, also used in the army in wars.
Wow.
One more. Come on. Okay, you, sir, in the orange hat. Yes, sir.
Transportation of cargo, passengers, and like Carlos said, usually in the army for many purposes.
Transportation. What a big word.
The real question is, what do we need airplanes for? I mean, like there's cars, there's trains, there's ships. You have your feet, don't forget, huh? It's much better than taking an aircraft, isn't that right? Huh? Yeah. So what do we need an aircraft for, huh?
We need an aircraft for if you're like in a certain place and you're traveling, you can usually airplanes are you can fly to another destination, for example, from Macau to Singapore.
Right. Why don't you take a ship?
Because it.
Who knows the answer? Why don't you take a ship?
This lady, I'm sorry.
Flies faster.
Wow! Where are you guys from? Europe, US, local?
Australia.
Let's just sum up and say the world.
Yeah.
So I'll go ahead, since we're on the clock here, I'll start out with my history. Again, first of all, my name is Justin Wesley. I'm from Satellite Beach, Florida. It's near Orlando. If you guys know, the house of Mickey Mouse, so I'm a Florida boy. I started flying when I was 16, so you guys are pretty close to that.
And he's now 18 and a half.
Yeah, right now I'm 85 years old. Been in Macau for about 2.5 years, and so far so good. I have my family here, a beautiful wife, beautiful son, and just really enjoying the culture, et cetera, et cetera. So that's a little brief history there. But about the flying part, I started flying when I was 16. I went to a school called Florida Air Academy, and they had an aviation program there. That's in Melbourne, Florida, still near Orlando, pretty familiar. And at first, I was a little scared, because, being so high up in the air. But you have your flight instructors, and they try to keep you all, comfortable and happy, peaceful, et cetera, things of that nature. And, they make it fun. everybody, it's just like going to school. You want to enjoy, have fun, and you walk away with, you know, a productive learning experience, you know. So it took me about 6 years to get up to this point to become an airline pilot, because you start out with your private pilot, and then you get your instruments so you can fly through clouds and things of that nature. You get your commercial so that you can start earning money, you know, and building more time flying bigger equipment. And then I earned what's called a flight instructor, so I can actually teach each of you all how to fly. You know, if you get your it's called CFI, or Certified Flight Instructor. Let's see. Then I went to university or college in Jacksonville, Florida. So you know, it takes a while. You don't just start out and then bam, you're an airline pilot. It's a journey that you have to take. You have to stay focused. You have to obviously go to school, get a good education. You need some basic science, basic math. I'm not a rocket scientist or anything. I mean, you don't have to be a genius to fly an airplane. But first of all, you can't get airsick. You can't get airsick, and you have to be healthy. I could do a little better. You're a little better than me, but you have to be careful with that. But nonetheless, you have to pass a medical and then a physical. You have to make sure your vision's okay, your hearing's okay. So don't listen to music too loud. Turn that music down. Make sure you can hear and see.
Many people today fail because they listen to too loud music.
Yeah.
If you go to you all have your what we call Walkman. What is called today? iPod or so. Yeah.
Discman. What do they
Discman.
have?
Forget it. We're from last
That's right.
millennium. Yeah.
We're from the 30s and 40s.
Yeah.
Yeah. But nonetheless, just so I can let Tomas get a talk in as well. It's been like I said, a 6-7 year journey to get to this point. We're flying the Airbus A320. First of all, does anybody have any pilots in the family? Yeah. What? Who? Where? Your cousin. Where does he or she fly? Yeah. Really? We'll talk to you later. Absolutely. Yeah, that's great. So it's a small network. You in the back?
Ah,
So
great.
we should have started out with, hey, who works for Macau? Yeah, you sir.
My uncle works for Qatar Airways.
Guitar, outstanding.
Wow.
Out in the
Very
Middle East,
good,
very
very
good,
good.
outstanding. Yeah, very familiar with that. So good. So that's kind of my story in a nutshell. I'm 32 by the way, so I just wanted to give you the timeline there. So from 16 to 32. This is my first airline job. I was working in America, flying like private jets and things of that nature. If you're familiar with the Gulfstream aircraft, H-Jet, little Cessna, let's see you have an airplane there. That's kind of like a Cessna 150, 172, the plane on the left there. The helicopters I'm not too familiar about, but I'm sure you've seen the Sky Shuttle, that was called. The helicopters flying around every now and then.
That aircraft on the left, trust me kids, it's a lot more fun than what we
Yeah, those are the planes that you start out with, okay?
Yeah.
You start out with the small planes, and then if you want, you can fly the balloons. That's even, wow, this is very aviation. I love it. Yeah, so aviation is
You
very
need the
broad.
license to fly a balloon, you knew that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys are just too much fun. So you need aviation, again, it's not just flying, but you can be airport management, okay? You can be mechanics, things of that nature, okay? So it's a very, aviation is a very broad term, and you don't just have to be pilots, okay? So you can have fun working on planes, flying airplanes, managing, okay? You can start a flight school, things of that nature. So, whatever you want to do with it, just go for it. Just go for it. So that's my story. Thomas, you can start.
Well, thanks for just My story is a little bit different. First of all, I'm not from the US, I'm from Austria, not Australia, although everybody who knows Austria. Very good. Thank you very much, kids. Well, I'm from the city of Mozart, and what else do we have? We have the mountains, we have the skiing and those things. Sorry? Salem Sea. Wow, very good for listening. Not as famous as Orlando Beach, but it's good, yeah. Anyway, so what do you think how old I am? Take a guess. Anybody?
41.
Sorry?
41.
Wow, you hit it on the spot. Anyway, I'm 41 years old. And yeah, that's him. He gets a compliment later on. It's great, yeah, 41. I was born when?
1926?
Oh, But thank you very much for that, yeah? Anyway.
1970, no, 1981.
That's me.
1973. 1972.
Yeah, 1972. Very good, yeah. See, that's what you have to do as an airline pilot. Because then you sit there and you have the thunderstorms outside and the lightning and you have people chatting in your ears. Then you maybe have a captain who goes like a school teacher, you know, like, oh, don't do this, don't do that. No, I'm afraid, I'm afraid. And at the same time, the computer goes off. Whoop, whoop, too low, too low. and then somebody tells you, what is 1,372 minus 13? And you're like, why did I choose this job? I don't want. Exactly like that, right? So that would be an airline assessment. You know, when you apply for an airline, they squeeze you real hard. You get like 10 things at the same time, and they want to see you fail, and they want to see how much you can take. But don't take it too seriously. Everybody fails. They just want to see how much you can take. Anyway, I'm 41 years old. I didn't start as a pilot. Actually, I didn't even think about being a pilot. When I was a kid, your age, when I was younger, when I was older, there was only one thing I wanted to do. Guess what? Please.
Football player?
No. I wanted to go, I'll give you a hint. It has got to do something with being a pilot, but not really a pilot. I wanted to go up very, very, very high. Tell me. No, just go ahead.
Astronaut!
Yeah, that's it. Astronaut. I wanted to be an astronaut. You know, I was born 1972. That was the time when they started the moon landings and everything. And the big thing in school was astronaut. So I never had any other idea of being an astronaut. But I'm not from the US. I'm not from Russia. I'm from Austria, a tiny little country. We don't have a space. It took me a very long time to realize that. And I was like, where are our rockets? Maybe they're hidden in the mountains, but guess what? No rockets in the mountains. So I decided, you know, not for me. I didn't think about being a pilot. I don't know why. So guess what I became?
A pilot?
I became a lawyer.
That's a whole other class.
I became a lawyer. I ended up running a company. And I was going to the office every day when I was sitting down. Can I have my coffee, please? And I go to meetings and chattings and signing papers and firing people and hiring people. I was giving grades to people, saying, no, you're not good, you're out. No, I'm not like that. So anyway, and then I got in touch with a guy and he said, I just came back from the US. And I learned to fly the little planes, and it's so much fun. So I thought, why not? So I went to the US. Wow, it's great. So I came back. I started to fly my own business trips. You know, as a manager, I needed to go to A, to B, to C, to D. I needed to go to Munich. When you know Munich? Munich, very good. I needed to go to Frankfurt. I needed to go to Rome. I needed to go to Zurich, Switzerland. I needed to go to Prague. Yeah, so see, with the little plane, that's all about 2 hours, 2.5 hours flying myself. So it was fun, you know. So, but then I flew, there came a cloud. There came 2 clouds, came 3 clouds, came 10 clouds. I said, like, how the hell am I going to get to Frankfurt? But then the cloud was very naughty. The cloud went, boom! Oh, sorry. I was like, I called my friends, like, oh, we're not going to meet today. There is a cloud. I said, you know what? Let's get off to the US, get my instrument license. Instrument license, because what can I do with the instrument license? Anybody know?
You can operate the instruments more and learn how to like with the class.
Yeah, exactly. Very good. You know, in the beginning, when you fly an aircraft, you fly with your eyes. And what do you need also? Very, very important. You need your eyes and?
Your mind. Listening skills.
Sorry?
Listening skills.
I'm just talking about senses. Yeah, listening skills, of course, yeah, but you can't even fly without talking to anyone. You can't fly without talking to anyone. When you're like what we call visual, so you just look out, but what do you need? And it's very, very important. Sorry? Close.
Good eyesight.
Yeah, that too, but
Hearing.
yes, I'll tell you, you need this. Guess why? Because this, in the beginning, you learn, don't climb, don't descend, don't turn. And you're like, oh, you look at your instrument, oh. But you know, after like a month or so, you don't need the instruments anymore. Because this one tells you. You ever felt it in an aircraft when you go up or down?
Yeah.
You get pressed in the seat or you get lighter? This goes like automatically from this one. This is your attitude indicator, you know? You sit there. Yeah. You sit there and you go like, oh, I get heavy. I'm climbing. No. I'm getting lighter. No, it's not good, you see? So this is your most valuable indicator when you're flying.
They call that flying by the seat of your pants.
Exactly, that's what they call it. You know, the Americans are more practical than we are. We have like long definition German terms. You know? Anyway, so I got my instrument rating. So now I could fly into clouds. I could go to Frankfurt, I could go to Zurich, even with the flashes and so. But guess what? We have winter, snow, ice. What happens to an aircraft if you fly into ice and snow?
Sometimes maybe there's this one bit on the front of the plane, and it tells you how like the temperature, like the altitude
Yeah.
of flying, and if it's not upgraded, it might freeze. And
Very good for these gentlemen. We have a scientist here. Yeah, that's good. Please.
the propeller freezes. If you're
The propeller freezes, yeah. Guess what happened to me? What happens when the propeller freezes?
You don't have any thrust and you go down, or you don't have any lift anymore.
This guy's a born pilot. High five, guy. Yeah. I tell you what, my first encounter with ice was not pleasant. I was flying alone by myself. It was night. It was raining. I didn't see anything because of clouds. And I was like, oh, I had my headset and I was listening to music. And suddenly the aircraft goes, what? Is this a horse or an aircraft? It's not nice. You know, the propeller, when one side freezes, the other side does not. Have you ever held something turning that's not balanced? It goes like, and you cannot do anything against it. You fly and the whole aircraft goes, and you see your airspeed, and you're like, oh no, I'm gonna die! It's not nice. But that's what pilots are made for. You're trained and you have knowledge, and you also should have a certain professionality that you don't freak out. But you have to deal with the situation. Like, anybody ever got himself in a situation where you couldn't get forward or backward and you didn't know what to do anymore? Huh? You? Sorry?
It was like a dream.
All right. Like when I was a kid, for instance, you know, we have these high mountains where I come from.
Yeah.
And clever me, I need to go up the mountain, but I don't walk up the mountain. I climb up the steep cliff. So it was like 10 meters or so. You can hurt yourself pretty bad. So I was climbing up, and then I didn't know any further. You know, I was like midway. I couldn't go up, I couldn't go down, I couldn't go left, I couldn't go right, and I was there like, Mommy! Mommy! But 5 kilometers around me, no one. So that's the kind of situation you're up in here, you know. And you can probably talk to someone, but nobody can help you because you're alone. So then you have to deal with the situation. This is actually everything a pilot is good for, you know.
Yeah, so just like Thomas said, you need not only your five senses, which it seemed like we were all getting to, you know, which are what? Smell, sight, hearing, taste, and touch. Outstanding. So you use a combination of all those senses, along with, you know, flying with the seat by your pants. You also need good judgment, okay? Decision making.
Decision making is very important.
Decision making. Let me just give just a quick little example here. Let's say you're flying and the sun is out, okay? And now it's cloudy, okay? Thunderstorms around, okay? Would you want to land it at Macau Airport if there's thunderstorms? Who's brave enough to do that? Exactly. Not the smartest thing. And just for one example, when I was flying about maybe 7, 6 years ago, there were thunderstorms around. I was in a small plane like that. And it's not a pretty ride. It's a little bit better in bigger airplanes, but you just get bumped around. And what do you think will happen if you get bumped around too much? That's called what? Starts with the T. Turbulence. This one is just, we got to watch you guys. You guys are the next here in Macau. But the turbulence can get so extreme. There's different categories of turbulence. You have, you know, light, moderate, et cetera, et cetera. And if it gets too bad, then it could damage the airplane. And that's obviously not good. So you hold, you just fly around, wait for the weather to clear, and you land. So that's just kind of a brief example of decision making. You say, man, if I see a storm there, I'm not going to just fly right through it. It's not the smartest thing. So, you know, you can associate that with anything in life. It's like, man, do I do this or do I do that? And you make the best decision, right? You make the best choice.
And in order to make a good decision, you need to be calm.
Sure.
And I remember back in the old days, I'm sure you remember that too, Chelsea, when people were still allowed to smoke in the aircraft. That was a long time ago. But anyway, the pilots were allowed to smoke too.
Oh, like they throw the smoke in the toilet? Yeah.
No,
Sure, yeah,
actually,
something like that,
you probably think we're mad or so, but our aircraft still have ashtrays up front. Yeah, they still have. They're still in there. We're not allowed to use them anymore. I don't smoke. He doesn't smoke. But anyway, so you could clearly see some of the guys. You know, you're always two up front, right? So you could clearly see you're sitting there, and the guy next to you, when it gets flashy and thunderstorms and everything outside, and suddenly you see the light next to you. You think this guy's calm? Probably not, yeah. Anyway, just to let me finish quickly my story, so I started to fly on instruments, and then it got me more and more excited, and then like after almost 20 years being a lawyer and a businessman, I said, you know what? I have a second half of my lifetime, of my work lifetime. Let's try something else. So here I am, flying aircraft. Now I do that since pretty much the same time, 6 years. And I'm about ready to become a captain now. And it's fun. Whoops.
Oh, no problem.
Sorry.
No problem. I just,
Go ahead. I was thinking, is that the sun or? No, and you know, life is so much different when you're a pilot. It's you don't have any regular, like in class, you have a regular schedule, right? When do you get in the morning? When do you start? 8:30. Very good. When do you leave? 3. That's office work. If you work in an office, it's pretty much what you do. You have your time in the morning where you show up. You have your time in the evening when you leave. Sometimes a little bit earlier, sometimes a little bit later, but basically that's it. As a pilot, we get something we call a roster. Who knows what a roster is? No?
It's kind of like a schedule.
It's like a schedule.
Everybody's schedule.
Exactly. Yeah? It's like you have math, and you have gym, and you have this, and you have that. We get the same. So they tell me, tomorrow you fly to Tokyo, then you fly to Singapore, then you fly to Beijing, then you fly to Taipei. That's what we do. So we get a roster, we get a piece of paper that tells me when I have to show up. Sometimes we fly in the night, sometimes we fly in the morning, sometimes we fly in the evening. That's what a pilot's life is. Actually, it's pretty convenient for the guys who like it. There are people among us that like to have a work Monday to Friday, always the same time. If that's what you want to have, maybe. piloting is not your choice. But if you want to, you know, be more independent, if you want to have Wednesdays off or Mondays off, but you don't mind working on Sundays, you don't mind working in the night or so, it's great.
And just to add, like, our schedule is, like, tonight I have to go to bed at 10, and I'll be back at 4 a.m. And then 8 p.m. tomorrow, I fly to Taipei, Taiwan. And then I'll be back Sunday morning, okay? Now, other airlines, you go to work for like 3 days, like let's say fly from California to Paris. Okay, so you're gone for 4 or 5 days, then you're back home for 3 days. Then you might go, you know, 2 days, and then you're home for 3 days. So it rotates. But here at Air Macau, we're home pretty often, for the most part. Yeah, we have overnights in Beijing, Taipei, Shanghai, Shanghai Hongqiao and Pudong, and Hangzhou, if you're familiar with those areas there. So we only have like 4 or 5 places that we stay, and we're only gone for maybe a day or two. So the nice thing about Air Macau is that we're home quite often, and we're not away from our families if you have families. So that's the nice thing here about Air Macau. So
Enough of the talk. So let's
yeah.
talk a little bit about aircraft. Who knows aircraft? Please, go ahead. Like what sizes? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but what brands? What do you know? Anybody? Don't forget about. Just tell me.
Good job.
A380, very good.
Boeing 747.
747. 757.
Yak 9.
Yak 9, very good. DC-9. MD-80. Please.
Oh, I was going to say Concorde.
777, very nice, yeah.
That's the best.
Please. Sorry? Tupolev, 154, very good, very good. So, what do you think? Is there any difference for a pilot? A big one or a small one? Medium, very good. What do you think is the actual difference for a pilot? Does it fly differently, or is there any fundamental difference? I mean, like, how hard can it be, right? What do you think? You think I could go to the next aircraft and fly? No? You wouldn't trust me? No? Who wants to come? Let's go fly a space shuttle, huh?
Oh,
Yeah, please, go ahead. Both of you, whatever. Yeah, sure. Yeah, you want to come? See, there we have a real pilot. He doesn't. No fear, yeah. So actually, if you want to fly an aircraft, the big ones, what we call the big ones, no matter if it's the A380, the 320, the 777, the 737, they're very, very similar. Very similar. In fact, Justin and me, if we wanted, we could go probably into any aircraft and just fly. The only thing is, we're not allowed to. Because where the real difference is if the aircraft breaks down in flight. You know, we have this computer that tells us something's wrong. It's like, bing! You're gonna die! You're gonna die! You're gonna die! So, and then you have to deal with that situation. And for that, you need to know the specifics of that special individual aircraft. So for that one, you go to a training course. Training course takes about 1 month. So it's like, if you drive Toyota, and you want to drive a BMW, you need a new license. If you drive a BMW and you want to go to Mercedes, you need another license. Because have you ever noticed the buttons are at different places in the different cars? Like one car has it here, the other car has it here. One car has a stick shift, the other one has an automatic drive, right? So in an aircraft, it's a little bit more complicated. There's like, how many buttons do you think an aircraft has?
Close.
300? Anyone?
110.
Three?
Would be nice, yeah. Yeah, you're not bad. back in the old days, I don't know, I'm sure you've seen the pictures where they had all these round instruments. Yeah, the round instruments. 747, the first one that came out, had 1,396 buttons. And switches and whatever. So you needed to know everyone. Every single one. And they were going to ask you, what's the name of this button? You're out. Nowadays, modern aircraft, about 350, depends on the type. So our aircraft, I would reckon, has about that, 350 buttons. Most of it is done by the computer now. But still, 350 buttons is a lot, right? And you need to know what every button does. Don't get me wrong, all the aircraft have those buttons, but they're slightly different. One has it here, the other one has it here. And when you're like in the night, shaking and everything, and you need to switch a button, and then you go like, it's all written in Russian. Darn! So it's not good, obviously, right? That's about it. Just saying.
So very good, Thomas. So if you don't mind, ladies and gentlemen, we have some pictures and videos, and we'll kind of finish out with the videos and stuff. If that's cool. Is that okay?
Yeah.
We do that? Okay, outstanding. So, and I'll just kind of explain as this is actually going into or coming back from Shanghai. I just did that for you guys. Yeah. I don't know if you can hear me.
Very shortly. Good to see you guys. Time for work.
Yeah. So I did that because I knew I was coming here for you guys. So that's good. Just a shout out to everybody. Yep. Okay, this one is actually flying into Macau. I don't know if you can. Maybe you can make out what it is. Yeah. One of the few days that you could really see, so I had to take advantage of that. Good. So that's that there.
Class, you recognize the shape from when we were doing the map, so.
This is how the cockpit looks inside the A320. So that's all the navigation, the heads up, BFD, MFD, that's our flight plan.
Oh, we got a lot of homework, trust me.
You
Every
gotta
day.
know math. You gotta know math. Yeah. So we'll just leave it right there. So that's your. You can help out, Thomas. The top part there is called the FCU.
Yeah,
That's
this
where
part
we
here.
basically fly the airplane with that part there. That's how we fly the plane. We're not really
The most
touching-
important thing is
yeah.
if you ever visit the flight deck, is this section here. It's a little bit unclear on this one, but we got like 4 distinct knobs. With those one, when it's on autopilot, which we normally fly, we're even legally required to fly it on autopilot. With this one, you can go faster, slower. You just turn it up. You say, I want to fly 300. You will hear the engines until we have the speed. If you say, we want to fly 200, you will hear the engines, and then you get slower, 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 slower.
Exactly.
This one, what is this one for? Anyway, if you turn it, goes right, goes left. See? How do you call that when the aircraft makes this? Very good! So, this one, you turn it, the aircraft makes pitch. Very good.
Or altitude, very good.
Yeah, so actually you don't select the pitch. My old aircraft that I flew, also a jet aircraft, could do that. It could select a certain pitch. -1 degree, -2 degrees, -3 degrees. This one, we can select an altitude. Let's say we want to descend 10,000 feet. Pull the aircraft, engines, and off we go.
Why don't you just keep it on full speed the whole time so that the aircraft is faster?
Well, actually we do, more or less. We do. But you'll notice when you go into turbulence, like a cloud or so, I don't know if you notice as a passenger, but when you start getting into turbulence, usually pilots reduce the speed. That's got something to do with physics. You'll learn it later on probably, but when you go fast and you experience turbulence, it's a lot harder on the aircraft and on the passengers than when you go slower.
Six question.
Sorry.
Which button controls the yaw?
The yaw.
Yeah.
Ooh, I didn't get a picture of that. Yeah, it's actually like you see the little center panel towards the bottom. It's actually back here. We have like a rudder type of thing there. Yeah, it kind of helps with the yaw dampening, so that we're not like just like a roller
So
coaster.
actually the yaw, it's a good thing. The yaw, you only need to coordinate your turns, you know. If you wouldn't use the rudder in the back for turning, then the turns would feel really awful. You would probably get sick from it because the plane is like doing this, you know, like it goes with the back and back and forth, and as a passenger and as a pilot, it's very uncomfortable. But the amount of rudder you need on the small aircraft, you have to press a pedal by yourself. In these modern aircraft, you have like 10 computers thinking for you, and if you do the turn, they already do that for you. No need to do anything. But if you look at the pilot, when he's strapped in, I mean, here we're pretty relaxed because the other pilot's flying, but when you're really flying and you're strapped in a small aircraft, in the military aircraft or so, everything you have on your body is used. You're sitting strapped on. This one we already discussed, very important. Your feet in the military aircraft are attached with bands to the pedals. Your hand is on the stick. The other hand is on the throttle that controls the engines. Your ears are covered by the headset. Your mouth is covered with the microphone. Your eyes are covered with the eye shades. So you're fully plugged into the aircraft. There is not a single thing on your body that's not used. You know, and so it's everything you need. You know, with the stick you control the bang and the pitch. This one you control the speed. This one you control the yaw. So you're completely plugged into the machine, as you say. Please just
Okay. Yeah. We'll keep moving. So this right here, ladies and gentlemen, is the pre-flight. It's either A320, A321. I was doing the pre-flight, and I just kind of had the camera there. Just to show you guys what we do.
Pilots don't receive a camera man.
Yeah. So what we do before every flight, we have to inspect the aircraft. That's the landing, that's the nose gear. Check the lights. Check that the tire pressure go okay. The audio stress okay. There's no cracks on the lights. That's the cockpit. That's where we sit on the right side as first officers. Check to make sure nothing's hanging out from the doors. Those are the cargo doors, and underside the belly. Make sure that there's no, cuts, tears, warping, holes. Landing light, that's the landing gear there. That's our engines. Big engines. Check to make sure everything's latched. No leaks. That's obviously the fan blades. Check the blades. Blades, like 22, 23, that's yeah. So you
Don't
can see
stick
this.
your hand in.
So this is called, again, the pre-flight inspection. We also have maintenance, but it's part of our requirement as pilots to just go out and double check as well, make sure everything's okay. Absolutely. We usually get there about maybe 30 minutes before we board, so we try to be completely ready by the time we start boarding everything. So that's the back side. That's obviously the wing right there. So yeah. So this plane's a little bigger than the one in the picture here, but
How many people do you think can fly on this aircraft? Passengers. 500? Sorry? 150? Sorry? 199? How many?
600 on Airbus, 370,
Okay.
1,200.
1,200. Sorry?
300.
All right, so the biggest aircraft in the world is which aircraft? 380. The normal aircraft that fly for Emirates, Singapore, and so on are configured for about 550 passengers. If you put only economy seats, you know, that's the seats that we all normally fly, that have not too much of leg room and very close and so. If you pack it completely full with those seats, it can be up to 900. But that's like a chicken farm.
Or what's the biggest plane out there now that you may know? Airbus what? Is that true? Passenger-wise? A380?
We just had it.
Bravo.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Just had it, yeah. So that's the biggest aircraft. The one we fly is like 3 notches down. We have the 380, the 350, the 330, and we fly the 320. The 320
is a new one now, right?
yes, a new one.
That's a nice one.
The 320 actually comes in 3 sizes. What do they call it? Mean 19? No, yeah, 18. So it's 4 sizes. Yeah. So it goes numerically. 318, 319, 320, 321. Very good.
Bravo.
So 321 can take about 200 passengers. 319 can take 150, I think, maximum.
19?
Yeah, no,
Okay.
I mean legally, if you put in all the seats, we have less seats inside. We have, I think, 100. They're different configured, you know. Not every aircraft has the same amount of seats, but I think they're about 130. And the 318 is about 100. So that's what we fly. And we fly all types. So we have all 3, 19, 20, 21. So we fly bigger ones and
Double decker?
double decker. 380, yeah.
Two floors, right?
2 floors, yeah. 747, 380 has 2 floors. Yeah. Have you? Who has flown on the 380? You like it?
Yeah.
Why do you like it?
There's a TV.
Okay. What else is good? Did you hear? What did you hear on the 380 when it's in flight?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Less noise from the engine.
Less noise. It's very quiet. It's very quiet. Please do.
Okay, no problem. You had a question, big guy?
What's the max number of passengers that can fit in the biggest airplane in the world?
As I just said, the 380. What did I say? Maximum, you put all the economy seats in. 900. That's about the maximum we have today.
That's a lot. Yeah.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
What is the Dreamliner? Is that just a type of plane, or what is that?
All the aircraft have planes.
Oh, okay.
So the Airbus 380, what's the name for the 380?
Whale? I don't know. It's huge.
Yeah, I don't remember. Anyway, the Dreamliner is the Boeing 787. That's the brand new one.
I was just recently, and it was also very quiet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is, yeah. It's a brand new plane. I don't know if you read it in the newspaper, but there was a plane that had like exploding batteries.
What?
And they grounded it at the beginning of last year for, I think, 3-4 months. All aircraft of this type were not allowed to fly anymore, and they needed to fix that problem. You know, your cell phones, who has a cell phone?
Me. I have 3.
I have one. Do you have 3? Wow. What kind of, some education here, kids. What kind of battery is inside the phone? What do we call it? Lithium. What's dangerous about lithium batteries? They explode. The 787 Dreamliner. Okay, sorry. Let me start another one. What's the advantage of the lithium batteries? Why do we use them? Please, just forget about the hands. Just tell me. What about?
It's chargeable and you don't need a replacement.
But why don't we use nickel cadmium? Why don't we use lead as we did 40 years ago?
It's harmful.
Heavy. You know a car battery?
Oh, yeah.
You want to carry a car battery attached to your phone? No? Like on a little bag or so? Oh, makes you last for about a year probably, but it's inconvenient, right? Same goes for the aircraft. Aircraft is big aircraft, but every kilo or pound matters. Every kilo we take more costs more fuel. So the manufacturers thought about, let's take this technology, lithium ion battery, and put it in our engines. And they flew 3, 4, 5 months, and then in Japan they BAM! Boom! Battery went up in flames. Hole in the engine, emergency, ding, 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 ding. The pilots suddenly woke up, whoop, landed the aircraft, and they discovered big hole, battery was burning. Until now, they don't know why. So what did they do to fix it? Take a wild guess, what do you think? They built a special fire-containing case made of titanium. Who heard about titanium? It's very strong metal. They put it inside the titanium box and now flush it in. It could still explode, but it's contained in the titanium case and nothing will happen if it does. But actually they don't know why it happened. There are still some things we don't know about the lithium batteries. A couple of rumors. The captain and the co-pilot, first officer is called the co-pilot, has got how many stripes? How many has the captain? Very good. Yeah.
We'll be there in a few months.
Exactly, yeah. What do you think is the difference between the two? Is the co-pilot not a pilot? Can the co-pilot fly the aircraft? Does the co-pilot fly the aircraft? Yes. Normally, it's when you fly four flights a day as a crew. Let's say we go to Taipei and back. We go to Taipei and back. Happens sometimes. Let's say the captain flies the first one. First officer brings it back. Flies to Macau. Captain brings it back. There is always one pilot in command. That's the captain. So whatever he says has to happen. But normally, the captain, it's about decision making. The captain is not, you do this. Because what happens if I say to you, you do this? Do you think you will think? Or you will just do it? What do you think? If I tell you, you go up and get out, will you think about it or will you just do it? See? That's dangerous. Because then the captain is the only one who comes up with the decision. But the reason for two people is, I didn't forget about you. The reason for two people is, you want to have 4 eyes, 4 ears. It's important because 4 ears and 2 brains thinking about the same thing. Because, you might miss something. And then the captain would come to you and say, so what do you think about the situation? And he does that on every important situation. And you would say, I think we'd rather not fly into that flash cloud up there. I'm not scared, but I want to get home to my family too. The captain say, yeah, it's probably a good idea. We got enough fuel, let's go around. Flight engineer. There used to be flight engineers. There are still flight engineers out there. But in the modern aircraft, the flight engineer got replaced by computers. Guess what? Airbus thinks about removing one pilot from the flight deck. Only captains. Because you have computers, and the computer is so good that he can replace the first officer. What do you think? It's not going to happen. Because every third or fourth flight, one of the computers says, "Bing, I'm broken." That's what it happens. Sorry, please go ahead.
Why are some of the wings of the aircraft so curved up and some of them are flat?
You want to answer Yeah, Justin, let's,
Oh,
let's
well,
go for the science.
well, essentially, yeah, as I'm a rocket science here. So they're curved up like this, maybe on the ground, or sometimes they're drooped down a little bit. They're kind of like this. And then once you develop, what's the upward acting exactly, then they'll kind of curve, and that's just an aerodynamic feature, and it's just aerodynamics at its best. You know, that's how an airplane flies. You have to have airflow over the wings. So you have bending wings. A lot of it is because of forces. You know, so you don't want like a straight wing because, oh, you pull a G, you know, you might have a crack in the wing, and then maintenance will have to fix it. So they bend like that so that, okay, when you're turning, when you're pulling G's, they kind of just like a bird flying, man. You see a bird, you know how fluid it is? That's just how wings are. It's kind of that same effect, except the wings don't flap, bless you. Except wings don't flap, you know?
So a simple thing.
Kind of.
If you take like a rubber, okay, and you hit it, and you bend it, and you step on it, and you throw it against the wall, you think it will break? No. All right? If you take a piece of wood, what do you call that? Plank? A board or something? A board? So if you take a wooden board, you hit it hard against the wall, what will happen? It will break. What if you put half of it here, half of it out, and you sit on it? What will happen? Break. You see, it's because it's stiff. So the more stiff you make things, easier to break. Now if you fly into a turbulent cloud, it hits up, down, left, right, from all directions, very hard on the wing. So what you want to do with your wing is to make this, you know. If you get forces on the wing, you want it to bend. That's actually a good sign. If you look outside as a passenger, you go through a thunderstorm cloud, you see that the wings go like this. That's what you want them to do.
It's a good thing.
It's a good thing. It's a safety
They're not going to
feature.
break off, don't worry.
They are.
Yeah.
If you look, you can look it on YouTube if you want. Everybody has YouTube, right?
Yeah.
You look on YouTube, look at wing testing. Wing testing when they first built the aircraft, it's amazing. The whole wing goes like this. Like this. You wouldn't believe it. And then suddenly, thump! It breaks. But it's like this. If you ever see a wing like this in flight, it's not gonna happen, trust me.
That's what I mean. Don't get all. We're going to talk, man. Yeah, basically, you just, you know, that's in testing. That's why you have professional scientists, you know, engineers who do all that testing to keep us safe. Okay, so you don't have to worry about wings breaking off.
No, it's not happening.
Essentials. Yeah, you don't have to worry about that. We make sure that won't happen. Okay. Okay, 2 more questions and then we'll keep it moving. Go ahead.
When you're about to land on the plane and when you're in the wind seat, you could see the engines like they're at the sides you have flaps opening up. What is that?
Exactly. Yeah. The flaps and spoilers, yeah, that's either to slow us down or to help us climb. I mean, flaps and slats, yeah.
Basically,
That's what they do, yeah.
it's very easy. The flaps, do they come out in front or in the back? In the back. What happens when the flaps come out? Does the wing get smaller or bigger? Bigger. That's all it is. It makes a bigger wing. Bigger wing makes more lift, makes you fly slower, slower. Bigger the wing gets, you can fly slower. If you take this big wing, fly very fast, break. That's why you have to make it small.
Yeah.
But when you go slow, make it bigger.
Orange hat? Yep.
Trick question.
What's up?
What would happen if the elevator or the horizontal stabilizer got stuck in a downward position? You're playing with nose down. How would you save all the passengers on the plane?
Man, he's good. How would I save all the passengers? Well, the first thing I would do, big guy, is try to slow the plane down. Okay? And the second thing I would try to do is do my best to just try to keep it under control to save everybody. That's the first thing. When you learn how to fly, you said you want to be a pilot? The first thing, the first fundamental, blah, 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 rule you'll learn, fly the aircraft first. So if the plane is doing something you don't want it to do, you do your best to try to fly it out of that condition, you know? And at the end of the day, you want to save everybody's life, right? That's what you want to do.
I thought you would fly the plane upside down so they stop.
Oh man, you're talking about like jets and like fun and stuff. I mean, we can go do that. I've actually done aerobatics, so it's real cool. You go do some loops. And I wish I had some pictures of that. You've done aerobatics? Yeah. I mean, you can do that. You're a fun guy. We'll talk.
No, honestly, let me tell you something. You think pilots can get airsick?
Yes.
Every pilot gets airsick. When it's too much turbulence, everyone gets airsick. You know what the biggest problem for astronauts is? Everyone gets it. Space, everyone gets it.
One quick question. Yeah, we got 5 minutes.
One time I saw like the air crash movie. It says like the elevators get jammed. Like
Sure. I mean, man, there's so much stuff in history. I would. Yes.
the thing is like the elevator is pushing the thing down to the sea, and then like
Yeah.
the pilots is trying to fly the plane manually, and then it's like a horizontal state when they fall down.
Yeah, you know, there's a lot of bad stuff that's happened in history where now we have the technology and the engineering to try to fix those parts. So unfortunately, as you all, you know, there's been stuff that's happened in the past, but we all learn from it and we try to fix those problems. You know, as engineers and mechanics, etc., and as pilots, our training has improved from, you know, from the Wright brothers and all that stuff. You know, we have training, we have crew resource management, and we have a whole bunch of people to help us try to, you know, safely do our jobs, from air traffic control to the mechanics to the flight attendants. We use everybody, crew resource management, to have a safe, productive flight. Yep. Last question.
What would you do if the fuselage, like, if there was a leak of oxygen in the fuselage, what would you do?
Oh, oxygen. Real quick. What do you think? Oxygen. Or basically like a hole in the fuselage. Is that what you mean? Okay. Real quick. What would we do?
Oxygen. What
Yeah,
happens?
we need
if,
oxygen.
What happens if you fly high up, and it goes boom? One window blows out, and all the air blows out. What happens? How long? Let me ask you a question. How long do you think you're still conscious?
6 minutes.
6 minutes? 10 minutes?
60 seconds.
30 seconds.
30 seconds?
2 minutes.
90 seconds.
10 seconds. You have 10 seconds if you fly 40,000 feet. And then you're like, done.
Exactly.
You're not going to wake up until somebody feeds you oxygen.
So you said, just to jump in, because yeah, we're working with a little time.
Yeah.
To put your question in a nutshell, if we have a little hole in the cockpit and basically all the air rushes out, because it's a pressure difference, you know, the pressure inside is different than the pressure outside, okay? So essentially we have mass that will fall out automatically, or we can push a button and, you know, it'll open doors. You put the oxygen mask on so that we can breathe, because as humans, you know, you go underwater, can you breathe? So it's the same thing up there. It's like there's less air up, okay? So you need that oxygen on. You breathe, you go, okay, we do our jobs in the cockpit. We're probably doing this, doing that, doing that. You guys don't see what we're doing. But we have memory items, okay, that we do to make sure that everybody's okay in the back. And hopefully, once we get down to a lower altitude, you know, like maybe, you know, 1,000 meters, you can take that oxygen off and you can breathe. You know, just like skydivers, you know, they don't, you know, they go up to maybe 14,000 feet or, you know, whatever, 2,500 meters, something like that, and they don't need oxygen. But, you know, you're so, you know, until you get lower, and then you can get that nice, dense, fresh air. So just a few more pictures, guys, and then we'll kind of keep it moving. Is that cool? Sure. Yep. So just real quick, let me see. I just got a couple pictures here from. I did something similar to this in Florida about 6 or 7 years ago. I was flying an airplane called Cessna Caravan. This is in Fort Lauderdale Airport. Had a group of kids just like you guys, so you know I really enjoy doing this stuff here. That's the kind of the pilot groups that I had there. Real quick here. That's me during my Airbus training. Let's see.
Yeah, I didn't think about
How do I
that.
get out? Miss Johnson. Okay, great. I'll just go like this. So just some training pictures for you guys. Oh yeah, I know. I'm a rookie. That's right. Okay, yeah, that's me during my interview here at Air Macau. You see Air Macau. So that was 2 years ago. Pretty cool. Let's see, which one? What do you guys have? Everybody? Okay. And let's see, this is, actually it was over there. Okay, double click. Okay, that's in Florida, flying, that's a small jet I was telling you about, that's what I was flying. So again, you have the Airbus, and you have jets like this. That's Chief Pilot Rich, he actually is a retired captain for Delta Airlines. So I got some good training from him. Again, you get you get a good instructor, you know, just like Ms. Johnson and Trevor, I'm sure everybody, you have good instructors, pay attention, learn, okay, and remember, and then you can, you know, follow your dreams and all that good stuff. Let's see. This is a double click. It's Captain Koo here at Air Macau. We did some training together. Very, very smart aviator there. This is before I came to Air Macau. I was flying a plane called a Piaggio. It actually has a propeller. And we stopped somewhere in like North Carolina or Texas somewhere. And I had to actually refuel the airplane myself. So I gave the little, you know, surfer, you know, symbol there because that was kind of cool. Let's see. That's the base flight. These are my training partners. He's actually flying in Australia now. Ron's from Jamaica. And just a very international corps, just like here in the classroom here. You know, you got people from everywhere, so you learn from everybody's culture and just try to embrace and have fun with everybody, you know. Just love everybody. So this is after our base flight. No problem, after our base flight, and that's just the flight, that's the first flight that you take in the actual Airbus. So it's pretty cool. It's called a base flight. They do it all around international. In the U.S., we don't have a base flight. We do it all in the simulator. And just to end out, let me show you a picture of the simulator that, oh, that's me during my type rating training. And I know I have a picture of the actual simulator. It's like a big box. Let's see. Sim one? Oh, yeah. Good job. Yeah. So, yeah, that's the simulator that we do training in. Can you see? Yeah. Okay. All right, sorry about that. So that's me down there. I wasn't supposed to be down there, but I had to sneak a picture just to, you know. You guys have a lot of fun in this. You know, it's a lot of fun. It's just a big box that has, you know, real life stuff in it, and you can fly and do all the training, all the emergencies, you know, so that, you know, we keep you guys safe up in the air.
How much do you think the box costs if you want to have one at home as a video game? $1 million? Just go ahead, just take it.
1 trillion.
1 trillion.
Yeah, it seems like if you break it, it'll cost $1 trillion.
How much does it cost? Just about $4 million US. And you need like, you need like a baseball.
It's just a huge room. It's probably as big as this school.
Yeah.
Like, and there's like 4 or 5 of them in it. And these are all hydraulics down there, and you're shaking. And,
yeah, the whole box is moved real quick.
So,
it goes.
Yeah.
So you can get sick pretty easy.
We have a lot of fun in The Sims, but it's all serious in The Sims. You know, so essentially this is cheaper than doing it in the real airplane without people in the back. You know, they've done that before, but this is what you do when you want to fly essentially big airplanes. You start out with ground school, you learn everything, do some math, you know, science, etc., learn about the weather, etc. You have to have ground training, and then they stick you in this where you do a syllabus, and then you have to, you know, do the primary procedures, emergency procedures, you know, post-flight, all that good stuff. And then you go fly the real airplane. Yeah, so.
You pretty much use it.
Yeah.
I wanted to show you quickly a couple of different kind of pictures because before I flew for Air Macau, I started flying for Lufthansa in Germany. And, but then in between I was flying private jets, like for really rich people. Who knows rich people?
Me.
Wow. Is anybody rich here? Anybody has a private jet? Sitting in Macau?
Virginia.
Do you have like where I can see fountains? As icons? Yeah, that's good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Sure. Can you go down?
You want to
Yeah, here it is. Thanks.
You can just take that thing off. Yeah, just take that off.
That looks better, huh? So this is what we flew. This aircraft is it's called a CRJ, and it's got, you can sit there, you can read. Ah, it doesn't work that way. Okay, and I should have used smaller.
Yeah. Which type of plane is that, man?
This is a CRJ. It's good for 13 people. It's got 2 baths. It's got 2 baths, real baths. You know, we have like a cabin divider. You can close the door. There is a bath behind. You can take it out. You can sleep. This aircraft doesn't fly that long. It flies about 7 hours. But there is a similar that my colleagues flew. You can fly around the world, basically. And we flew celebrities, people everybody knows. There is even a picture, so I can say it loud, because normally it's about discretion. But there's a picture on our website. We flew David Beckham, for instance. We flew, what's his name? Actually, we flew him too. And we flew, who knows Lang Lang? Lang Lang from China. We flew Lang Lang. He with his mother, very nice guy, very nice mother. We flew him to concerts around here.
Who else did you find?
I guess I'll jump into the planes that you saw with the Delta captain. We actually flew, if you know Hulk Hogan, we flew him in
Hulk
that.
Hogan.
Hulk Hogan, real big guy. So that's just one of the cool things. You can do airlines, and you can do private and fly, you know, all types of cool people. You know.
Yeah. Our workplace, we have to go to it now.
Yeah. You good?
I'm good.
Oh, good stuff. Okay, so I guess you guys have other classes, and I just want to thank you. We want to thank you guys so much for inviting us. And I have some gifts, if just some little things from Macau, if you're interested. You want to help me?
Sure.
Things out?
Just one quick question. Who recognized this? Where is that? Just some geography. No, this is the people there have a different language, and this is called what the Krasnaya Ploshat.
Moscow.
Moscow, Russia. Starting the back of everybody else.
Thank you. Thanks so much for your attention.
What a hot season.
Yep.